Good afternoon. Welcome to the 2023 Optimus Roadshow Trinidad edition. We're happy to have you here for in this roadshow that we have done through the Caribbean, where we have looked into and we are very cognizant of all the needs from the region. My name is Rodolfo González. I am Chief Operating Officer for Optimus, and I have 30 years of experience in the industry. First, I worked 18 years in Microsoft as director for ERPs for the Caribbean and Latin America. And later, I was promoted to the position of director for all dynamics for the Caribbean and Central America. And that covers not only ERPs, CRMs, Power Apps, and other Dynamics products under that umbrella. And 2 years ago, when I left Microsoft, I joined Optimus, and there were 3 reasons why I joined the company. First, the vision, the transformation, and how it looks for not satisfying the needs of our customers, transforming them into the latest technologies, but at the same time, their industry focus, and we're going to be talking more about how specific that industry is, that industry focus is. And finally, because of the professionalism of the individuals, that some of which we have here with you. For those who do not know Optimus, here's a brief introduction. We want to be your trusted advisor. And by being a trusted advisor, it's not only about knowing the products, knowing the technology, knowing the solutions, but also knowing your specific needs within your industry. And for that, we focus in different verticals, like groceries, consumer packaged good, food and beverage. We also hospitality, like restaurants, hotels, and others that you will see there. At the same time, we're Gold Microsoft certified partner and Diamond for LS Retail. There's only one partner that is Diamond for LS Retail in the Caribbean and Latin America, and that's us, and 2 in all the Americas. And so very selected few that cherish that title. At the same time, we have alliances with other solutions. Today, we're going to hear one of them that extend the reach of our products. And we have here people from HR, inventory control that we'll talk about. We also have presence throughout the region. We have dedicated offices with dedicated teams in Jamaica, Trinidad, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Colombia, Peru, and United States and Argentina. And at the same time, we have alliances with partners throughout Europe and the Americas. And last week we signed a contract with another Diamond partner from Asia. So now we have a global reach, which improves not only to do global implementations, but also take the Optimus to the next level of cross help between the two companies. Here with us is the heart and soul of Optimus, our CEO, Hector Negron, will be talking shortly. He can say hi. And Dr. Vishal Ranmarin, RVP for Sales and Marketing. His dedications, his focus for excellence has been key to the success of our company. I mentioned that I have been 30 years experience in the Caribbean. Our VP lives here in Trinidad, and our CEO also lives in the Caribbean in Puerto Rico. So that shows you how much focus we do have and the knowledge, not only, again, verticals, but also products, but also your specific needs in Trinidad. And with that, I hand over to Vishal Ranmarin.
Good. Afternoon, everyone. So, on this transformative roadshow, what we're gonna, or my job is to focus on just giving you a brief overview of the agenda and how we intend to map what we're gonna see today and the presenters that are gonna present today. So, first, we're gonna start off with looking at the challenges that we have faced or we are facing in the industry right now and the solutions that we have to offer in order to mitigate those challenges. Doing that is going to be Mr. Hector Negron. Then we're going to move on to Mr. Finur Bragason, CEO of AGR, who is going to look at um, a very cool and realistic way of looking at data when it comes to inventory management and replenishment. Stemming from that, we're going to have Mr. Hector Rafael Negron, or Hector Jr., who's going to focus on looking at SEOs and bots and how that applies to the industry. We're going to then have Miss Lisa Burnett, who is going to speak about modern workplace, the ability to communicate with your team, the ability to use AI, and how AI can help you on your day-to-day tasks. We're then going to move on to CRM, and CRM, Microsoft Dynamics CRM, we're going to look at the sales and customer service side, how you can keep track of customers, how you can keep track of their data, how you can keep track of interactions with those customers. And last but not least, we're going to look at Dynamics marketing. Dynamics marketing, sort of new kid on the block, right? But it's going to show how you can use your marketing campaigns and the data that you collect from those marketing campaigns to validate and authenticate the drive that you need to push into sales and to help the organization, right? At the end of all of that, we don't just want this to be a scenario where, you can't experience everything. So for those on site, we have labs set up at the back, which is going to focus on all of the topics I just mentioned. So without further ado, let me hand over to Mr. Hector Negron, our Chief Transformation Officer, who's going to take you through the first presentation.
Hello. Help me with this. So hello everybody online and here in the room. This is a hybrid event. We'll have multiple people in from different venues assisting. So now it's about food and beverage, wholesale, and distribution, and manufacturing, which is a big part of our region. And we can talk the whole day about trends and tendencies. We're going to focus on digital transformation, AI and autonomous solutions, machine learning, advanced analytics, and unified commerce. There's a mystique. There's a lot of questions. What's unified commerce? And there's a lot of questions about AI and about bots. So historically, we've gone through these changes multiple times from navigating, think about a warehouse management software in your warehouse and food and beverage, what's a warehouse management, what's barcoding, what's a mobile device. It's almost like an Uber GPS, taking a worker from aisle to aisle, from pallet to pallet, and picking or putting away or receiving an order. So it's the satellite would be the ERP or the WMS, sending the instructions to the quote unquote vehicle. Talking about vehicles, when the car was first introduced, people laughed at it. They said it's a carriage without horses. That'll never get anywhere. That's a fad. And then before COVID, Amazon and others introduced autonomous delivery vehicles without anybody driving it, no human beings. I co-work between Miami and Puerto Rico. I commute During the week, I'm in Miami, weekends in Puerto Rico. And 3 weeks ago, driving down Wynwood, where I sleep now. And lo and behold, I see one of these vehicles coming down the streets delivering. And I use Miami as an example because, yeah, we've heard of these pilots and California and other places, but most of us here and online, we have family or friends, or we go on vacation to Miami. And it's just interesting seeing how close these technologies are already getting to us. So to discuss a little bit about the F&B market, the market is $72 trillion globally, and it is expanding rapidly. Part of it is, yes, it's affected by price fluctuations, but also world population keeps on growing, so more people eating. And the Ukraine effect also has had an effect not only on grains and oils around the world, flour, for example, roti. I had great roti yesterday. But additionally, it's had a great impact on fertilizers. What would happen in China, whose land is not really made for agriculture, if they don't have fertilizer to sustain crops for their billion-dollar plus population? So it's all a chain of effects here. Now, we are to the Trinidad and Tobago. We're going around the Caribbean. We do plan, those of you who are online, going to St. Lucia, Curacao, and most probably also Antigua and Miami, the beginning of next year with the Roadshow. So tourism does heavily affect food and beverage wholesale distribution and manufacturing in Florida and the Caribbean and tourist areas. In the Caribbean, we had 28 million tourists last year. We may hit 30 million this year. Once they're in a hotel, once they're in an Airbnb, food service companies, etc., obviously are delivering more. So that's an additional transitory population that's consuming F&B in the region. And obviously you're on vacation, you're consuming a lot of alcohol. So digital transformation is one of the topics. If we take global population, I talked about China a second ago, the Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp of the world, we're all part of those populations. If we make them countries, they're bigger than China and India. By the way, India just surpassed China in population. We're updating the video. We did do this video. It took the telephone 75 years to hit 100 million people. It took Angry Birds 45 days to hit 50 million people. It took ChatGPT 2 months to hit 100 million people in usage. So we're also starting to see Airbnb and Uber, and we also mentioned that Alibaba is the #1 retailer in the world, and they don't own the inventory. Amazon makes more money than them, but Alibaba sells more revenue-wise and unit-wise. Airbnb and Uber, since we're talking also about tourism, Caribbean and Florida, they're the biggest hospitality, hotel, and transportation taxi company in the world, and they own no vehicles and no properties. That data is 8-9 years old. That did not happen the other day. And that happened 8 or 9 years ago when technology was a little bit slower than adopting it. Then now we compare it to the telephone. So when we communicate to our customers, right, and wholesale distribution, we're selling to retailers like supermarkets, convenience stores, grocery stores, selling to bars, to restaurants, and food service. We have to communicate better in a different way to the buyers, right? Our customers, people who are buying our product. Those of us that manage brands, and those of us that have responsibilities, let's say to Diageo, we have responsibilities to Procter & Gamble, a little bit more on the CPG side of things. We have to do reporting. We have to build the brands. So how do we advertise? How do we sell to all these different entities? So going into this, digital transformation is not an option. We're being forced into that. COVID did accelerate it. My mother never logged in to Zoom in her life. She did do a little bit of Facebook before. Now she does Facebook every single day. She checks on my kids, her grandkids, and Instagram when they're posting on a daily basis. So this is not only the adoption, digital transformation for the younger ages, it's around for the older ages. I view social media and digital also as a communication platform. It took the phone 100 years, right? So how many of us are getting customer service calls and via WhatsApp or complaints via Google or via Facebook? So how we have to communicate back to customers have totally changed, and we do need to have platforms around that. So there's a lot of changes in food and beverage outside of consolidation. That's a constant. Consumer tastes are changing. Meat consumption and dairy in the Americas has decreased double digits, not in revenue. Obviously, we have inflation, but on consumption, while more organics, healthier foods, produce are on the rise. So a lot of these items also have a shorter expiration date or shelf life. So we have to move it faster. And when we're in areas, let's say outside of North America, where we have landed cost, we're bringing everything in, and it takes a week on a boat to get in, and we have to have additional safety stock or additional stock so that it doesn't run out. We have to be more in coordination. And my colleague, Finn, who also comes from an island, will be talking about that pretty soon. So I want to focus, since today I'm in Trinidad, and a lot of you are coming in from the Caribbean. This also applies to the mainland US, to Latin America. And point number 2, 3, and the last point, managing inventory stocks out, spoilage, as I mentioned, transportation costs, right? So it's all of this is a challenge, right? We're running out. We have to order. We have to put our orders on Wednesdays because a container leaves on Thursday. I don't have enough stock to fill the container, so I'm going to bring in empty air, right? That makes the rest of the landed cost or price per unit per box more expensive. Or I have too much to fill a container. What do I cut out? Or stuff is spoiling and I didn't know, or stuff is spoiling in one of my warehouses, or the dates are about to expire. How can I have real-time visibility, right? Especially when we have unified commerce, and I'll speak to that about in a second, and we use AI-assisted tools. There's a way of doing that today, and I know it's sounding a little bit more futuristic, but so did the cloud when it started. My first cloud project was 22 years ago. It was called ASP, Application Service Provider, back then. Then it was called SaaS, Software as a Service, and colocation, and then somebody else called it shared services. These are technologies that have been around for a while. The economies of scale weren't there. Hardware was expensive. Internet communication was very expensive. I still remember where a dedicated 256 KB kilobyte connection cost $300-400, right? Today we're getting 100 megas for a fraction of that. So we had economies of scale. A customer out there was confused. They didn't know what colocation or SAP, these fancy salespeople were pitching them these services. And then the customer said, hey, that's up there in the cloud. And it became the cloud. Same thing with AI. AI used to be algorithms. Year 2000 was my first AI project. It was really advanced supply chain, which was a lot of algorithms, advanced programming, automation. I actually did it for Haynes back then. And it was $1 million plus project. Now we're doing a lot more with a lot less money, less than 100,000, less than 50,000. So we'll talk about accelerators and how we can get all these technologies out there. Walter Deming is the father of Japanese economics. He's also the guy who made Toyota today as a consultant. He's the main guy, one of the co-authors of TQM, Total Quality Management, one of the most prestigious economic And business awards in the US is the Deming Award. So he said, without data, all we have is an opinion. How can I be efficient with inventory? How can I move these things around when I have multiple sites? My warehouse is big. My warehouse operators don't know how many pallets, how many boxes I have at a split second. When it's a Wednesday, I have to put an order to my supplier because a container leaves tomorrow. I have 2 empty pallets full of air, and I'm calling the warehouse because I don't trust the system. I don't have the data in the system to know what else we need or how many boxes I have of something. That sounds like our everyday. So analytics best runs with one source, one truth. Mark Twain said, when we have more than one clock, we'll never have the correct time. So think about my warehouse management system and one database sitting here, my ERP sitting over here, my e-commerce sitting over here, my Salesforce solution, SFA automation solution, where my salespeople are taking orders down here. Everybody's doing their day-to-day purchasing, is putting in orders, and we're waiting for all these systems to synchronize. When you synchronize, you don't have real-time data. So that's where one source, one truth, and unified commerce comes into play. So how do we scale, innovate, where we get there? So we talked about one source, one truth, agility, and all this translates to customer satisfaction, right? Our customers, as I explained earlier, this is a trend more than ever. They want to send a WhatsApp to somebody and they want an answer quickly to know where their order is or where that truck is coming and around what time. Agility, right? Customer satisfaction at what time their truck is coming. Even more than that, they want to come into a portal, see how much they owe us, B2B portal, put an order in there, and even get information on tracking their orders. Right now, there's more and more pressure because of healthiness of tracking goods. In the US, we have FDA, and we have to have traceability of products. I actually have a customer who recently got an FDA audit, and they were closed down for 2 months. And it's lot control, it's traceability, and it's having that information not only on a piece of paper, but having it real time and having it reliable. Anytime there's a call, and implementing all of this is a cost, but there's a lot of efficiencies for it. So first thought is, how much will this cost me? I need it, but it's all about return on investment. I like to view things on a 1-year ROI. If we do a project or something, if you don't get your ROI in a year, then it becomes an investment. You take a look at an investment, but less than a year, that it saves you money, makes you money, or helps sell you more. It's a given. Other expectations that we're getting is, and issues that are happening in trends, is being connected, right? I remember 4 or 5 years ago, not far along, not everybody had a Salesforce SFA solution. Let's say you're a distributor, you have to go to a hotel, take an order, and you have a sales rep taking an order right there. He's taking a look at your real-time inventory. Hey, I want 5 boxes of Henneken. No, I only have 3 at the warehouse. Okay, let me separate this for you. Let me buy. And by the way, your accounts are behind. Your order's on hold. Can you give me a check before I walk out? Oh, that's expected, right? Being able to put an order, being able to approve a PO. And there is a very important spectrum that's across all countries and nationalities, and it's called demographics. So baby boomers are retiring. Ex-Geners like myself, we're a very small group around the generation. We're actually the smallest generation in human history. Wealth and employment goes from generation to generation. It skipped our generation. So the next generation of millennials inherited the wealth from the baby boomers. So one day to another, millennials became richer, not ex-Geners. The other thing that happened, employment also. Employment went from baby boomers to millennials. It didn't go by us, the ex-geners. The millennials, now we're separating them in two groups, right? The group that lived the financial crisis of 2007, 2010, the older millennials, and then the younger millennials. The older millennials, they don't like to buy homes. They don't have to like to have a lot of loans. Their lifestyle, some people call them lazy. I call them, they saw their parents, their grandparents lose everything one day to another. They lived 2, 3 years of seeing their family stressed because they didn't know what the future held. So some call them lazy. Others, we can call them, they have their more feet on the ground. Always life requires a balance. They also call them entitled. The younger millennials are wired differently because they didn't go through that life-changing experience. We all went through COVID, right? That for me is the second biggest change. So security simplified. We're seeing ransomware and viruses on a daily basis. That's why we're not in the security business. But the reality, we're not in the security business because you can't be a master of all. So we master unified commerce. We partner with people, but I can tell you, we get calls from customers saying, "Hey, Hector, do you know of somebody? I have ransomware, or I'm running offline while we get our backups up and going." So by going to the cloud, by using more modern technologies now, there's additional, especially we have that there, and I'm transitioning to the cloud now, which is one of the tendencies. We're using cloud more and more, but we do have, additionally from getting that extra level of cybersecurity, we also say bye to upgrades. So one of the benefits of going to the cloud is you're kept current on technologies by Microsoft and other vendors. And let's say there's one last upgrade left. You're not obligated to go to the cloud. We also have a lot of customers who are on premise or are staying on premise. I'm just mentioning one of the trends and industry forces. So with the cloud and something we've done with the food and beverage industry, we've launched our accelerator program for F&B. We're making this more public now and in the Roadshow. We do have it on Microsoft App Source. So it's been certified and validated by Microsoft. You can go in there, look for us. And then in there, as you're saying, we are able to implement the ERP side of the equation, or your logistics, your administration, in a quicker form using a setup fee and monthly subscription payments. So we are making this more agile. I was in Iceland meeting with AGR. So Finn's going to talk for a second. And when we were evaluating the relationship, as the saying said, you had me at hello. First thing that came out of their COO was time to benefit. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what we speak. So waiting for a year or 6 months to implement a technology and take to benefit. And by the way, younger millennials and the Z generation, they don't expect that. Your workers who are graduating university, graduated it, your early 30-something-year-olds, we don't give them the tools that they want. They'll go for somewhere else. And remember, we're living times, especially in the US and Europe. Puerto Rico, we're living times of there's short labor. In the Caribbean, we've always complained that, sometimes it's hard to find an adequate person for a position. And when that person leaves, there's a hole and there's a ramp up, because Caribbean is a lot of smaller islands, all them floating cities in a respectful way. So the talent pool is more limited than when you're in a continent like Europe and the US, where you can pull in talent from different areas and they can readily move. So as I mentioned, there is an easier economic model, a faster implementation timeframes to get there. With that said, We also have add-ons to that accelerator model. So if you're an F&B wholesaler, distributor, manufacturer, and you have a couple of retail locations, you don't need to have a separate point of sale. You can use one inside of the ERP, eliminating those islands, unified commerce, analytics, advanced forms, check printing, invoicing, sales on the go, and warehouse management. Yes, our accelerator includes as a base warehouse management. So you can start upgrading your business and using barcoding and as warehouse management. So Freshmart also distributes, and they just started manufacturing, and they're doing beer manufacturing right now. They're distributing kegs and cans. So they are using unified commerce. They're using bots. We'll speak about bots in a second. We'll give you a demo with real data, not a demo environment, but we'll see a pre-recorded bot in an accounts payable process for F&B. And with that said, I would like to introduce my fellow Islander, Finn, from AGR. He'll be speaking about AI-driven forecasting and demand planning. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so thank you for the introduction. My name is Finn. I'm with AGR. We do inventory optimization, forecasting, and demand planning. And we've been doing this for over 20 years. Myself, I've been working in the field for about 14 years, working with wholesalers and retailers, both sides of the pond, introducing kind of best practices around inventory optimization and demand planning. I think it is quite interesting when I started to come down here to the Caribbean, and we're starting to kind of compare the challenges that some of these companies are facing, both here and in Iceland. We developed this solution in Iceland. It was developed based on the challenges that are going on over there. It's a small island. We order in almost everything with ships, filling up containers, looking at long lead times. So there's a lot of similar challenges going on over there. But today I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can apply AI simply and fast into our business, and how we can unlock cash sitting in our inventory by optimizing stock levels. And I want to focus on three areas in this perspective. I'm going to look at how we can place orders faster, how we can introduce automation to the replenishment process, and how we can put our data to work to create those orders automatically. I want to focus on also how we can minimize stockouts, how we can introduce forecasting to understand where the demand is going, and get control over those service levels. And then I want to talk about how we can reduce excess stock. Now, of course, it's quite simple to reduce the stock levels by just purchasing less, but that's not what we want to do. We want to find that balance between service levels and stock levels. It might sound a little bit contradicting. How can we lower inventory levels and increase service levels at the same time? But actually what we've seen is when you don't have good visibility and control over your stock levels, you're ordering too much in some cases and too little in other cases. So when we start to optimize that, you'll find that both happen simultaneously. Your service levels improve and your stock levels are reduced. Now, how do we do this? Speaking a little bit on the process, there's a lot of data that is sitting in your ERP system that is not being put to work. We want to utilize this data to improve processes. We do that through the first step in this is an expert forecast model that we have designed that has multiple algorithms and forecasting methods built into it. So we look at all of the sales history that's sitting in the ERP system, and the system automatically selects the best fitting algorithm to predict that demand. So if there's any trend in the data, if there's seasonality, Christmas, Carnival, growing sales, decreasing sales, if there's any trend, the system will capture that trend automatically and create a forecast that represents that. Now then we have exception reporting because, of course, you can't trust an automatic forecasting system for all of your items. There will be exceptions. There will be trends that don't follow given patterns. You'll have your new items that don't have any sales history. You want to handle them in a certain way. But we pull out these exceptions and we let the system forecast, and we typically can manage around 90 to 95% of items through this process. Now, the next part is the planning part. This is where you can put your knowledge on top of the forecast. So examples of that can be promotions. You want to keep those promotional forecasts separately, but you can also take certain vendors and increase them by 25% or so. So this is what we call bottom up, middle out, or top down planning. You can manipulate the forecast on any level. Now, the end result from this process is either a purchase order from external vendors into the warehouse or transport orders between the warehouses or out to stores. Now, how do we do this? If I would be standing before you 5 years ago, we'd be pitching a solution like this with an implementation process of between 30 and 50,000 US. This is advanced technology that previously was just available for kind of enterprise size customers. And we've been doing this for 20 years. And a couple of years ago, we decided to develop a SaaS-based solution, which plugs directly into the ERP system. And we can implement without the lengthy technical implementation process. So this is more or less a next implementation. We have standard connectors to Business Central and actually NetSuite and Sage as well. And we have a custom connector that enables us to actually connect to any ERP platform out there. So we're delivering this as a SaaS model. We have Azure hosting included in the price. The implementation, the technical implementation is included. We have put a lot of work into the training, the onboarding, and the service aspect, and that is included as well in one monthly fee. So there is no implementation cost whatsoever. There's just a monthly cost for the implementation for the software, and everything else is included, both technical training and then ongoing support. And this is kind of a game changer to be able to offer technology like this, to offer advanced AI, advanced forecasting for the price that we're offering, and also to be able to do that on a SaaS platform. I want to take just a quick ROI calculation, an example or an exercise, because there's a lot of value to be gained from this. Typically, wholesalers are looking at or are doing an average forecasting or a min-max forecasting of their inventory. But we've seen that by applying advanced forecasting, we can gain a lot from this. So my example here, we have a wholesaler, let's say, that has 20 million turnover. Let's say we have 4 million in average annual inventory, and we're selling around 10,000 SKUs. Now, based on our experience, we are on average able to lower those inventory levels by 15%. And that's on average. We've seen numbers up to 30% or even higher, all depending on how well or badly the stock levels are being managed. Of course, it's easy to reduce inventory by just buying less, but we're managing this on same service levels. If we do the math, we can see that with a 15% reduction, we're freeing up working capital of around $600,000, and that's money in your pocket. We also see that if we calculate the cost of holding that inventory, that's around 25% of those 600,000. So that's an additional $150,000 you're saving in cash every single year. Now, why do I say 25%? Of course, it's easy to say, just look at the supplier cost or look at the product costs that we're saving on that inventory, those costs. But there are so many other hidden costs behind those inventory levels. We have transport costs, we have processing costs, we have pilferage, we need warehousing to warehouses to store the stock. And then, of course, it's the interest rates on that cash that is sitting there that we're not getting anything out of. So I think actually 25% is a modest number to evaluate the cost of inventory holding. Now, here, of course, we're just calculating the simple part. We're just calculating the inventory reduction. What we see as well, we can improve the service levels a lot with a solution like this. And of course, it's the manual repetitive work that we're taking out of the process of creating those purchase orders. So the system will automatically generate the POs, and we can automatically do all kinds of constraints to fill up containers and so forth and so on. So generally, we're seeing quite a fast ROI. We're seeing up to 30% reduction in inventory levels, 98% service levels. We're seeing 80% reduction in manual work. And like I say, quite a rapid return on investment from a product like this. I'll have this system in the back if you want to take a look, or if you have any questions, then I'll be happy to answer them. But that was all for me. Next on stage is Hector Jr. talking about bots and a lot of other interesting technology.
So, let me do a little quick change here. Okay. So, I'm Hector Rafael, Hector Negron Jr., and today I'm going to be talking about bots and how this is the new way to improve your business efficiency in many different types of ways. So the focus here is efficiency on your business. How time saving, uh, uh, cost savings. It's also reuse of resources that you already have, making them and putting them to work in places that produces more for the business and for the efficiency of the business. So I'm gonna start off while I introduce and guide you through this and explain this solution, how it works. First of all, we got the problem. What's the problem? We all have and will have in the future more riff and day tasks that basically attack us every day. Every day we're gonna have employees that are doing these tasks that take up a lot of time, and weekly I mean weekly, monthly, it's hours and hours climbing up and up, and this solution helps you um, improve that in a way that it'll take that headache not completely off, but it'll really alleviate it a lot in terms of reusing those employees, that staff, to basically point out, instead of them wasting so much time in these repetitive tasks, guiding them and putting them to work in other better areas. So there's gonna be a video right now here up next that Hector's gonna be explaining to you. We'll see a live recording of the solution working and applying and working on some tasks that it's automating. So Hector.
Yeah, so the data we're seeing here is actually real customer data. This is not a demo environment or video. You're going to see something shaded off. This is personal information from a customer, but this is actually the bot running. This is an accounts payable process. You'll see the bot going to a vendor website. Remember what I said about collaboration anywhere, any place. Downloads that invoice. And the bot also goes to an email account. You'll see a Gmail account in the video. And that's for vendors only. The bot goes in there and is constantly downloading these invoices, and then it goes to, let's say, there's different locations or offices or scanning invoices. You can go to a file in the network and bring those over. So when they're brought over, the bot enters them inside of the ERP system. We have customers on Dynamics with this. We have customers in Sage using this. So this is not an ERP specific tool. That's one about the good things, because we can avoid all these APIs and integrations and a whole bunch of people getting involved in let's say, such an implementation. It could be delivered quicker, time to benefit. It enters any exceptions in the three-way matching process. For example, PO says 30, but the invoice says 31, goes to a separate batch where accounting can check it. Anything that obviously is correct will be put in a batch so accounting can just enter. Human errors are greatly reduced in the process. Basically, you have virtual assistant entering invoices in an ERP system 24/7. That also means your inventory, your accounts payable information is there on a real-time basis. The bot doesn't get sick. The bot, let's say, doesn't, if it can't leave the company. Security, I get that question. There's encryption, there's a lot of security behind this. Remember, cybersecurity, ransomware, viruses, they target mass applications that are canned. Bots, our technology is a tool set. It's different technologies all working together. And it's not that it's customized for a customer, but they're put together for a customer. So there isn't a generic virus per se, or it's extremely unlikely that can find all these bots out there and then enter through a bot and enter your system. Other examples of popular bots are bank reconciliation and also credit card reconciliation. And these bots, for example, we don't need to integrate. So, I've had experiences of integrating with Citibank, US Bank, a customer in the Caribbean, and the bank, not the customer in the Caribbean, took a year to fix one of their bugs. So we can download the information, bringing it to the customer's Dynamics GP Great Plains ERP system. And in that case, with a bot, we just go in with a bot, it logs in, it downloads a transaction. Obviously, we're not going to give security to the bot to be able to do wire transfers, right? Bot's going to have certain security that we use from the bank and we implement internally. We just want to download the information, bring it to the ERP system, do some matching in there, take the exceptions out so accounting can work with them, and then put for posting everything that's already correct. So with that said, Hector.
Thank you. So continuing. So a bit of numbers here. We've seen what are the bots? Bots, the technical name for the bots is RPA. RPA is it's robotic processing automation, and what they are, it's basically, this is a very visual picture of it. It's actually like a robot using a computer. Why? Because as you saw in the video, you see the cursor, and it uses a normal mouse cursor and a keyboard. It'll type in, it'll do anything you can do as a user. It'll manipulate the system, the computer, as a user. And a bit of numbers here. On an RPA bot, it can basically, in terms of these repetitive tasks and mundane, it can replace or not replace or do the same as 3 to 5 full-time employees in terms of data extraction, reconciliation, comparing numbers, and not only it'll, in terms of efficiency and how fast they do it, also you can leave them running all night. It's not, they don't need to go at 5 p.m. go to their houses and sleep until the next day and start at 8 a.m. again. They'll stay, if you want it, they'll stay working all night 24/7. And reduction in errors, it's basically, maybe you get an employee one day that's not having the best of days, and they'll confuse a 31 for a 13. That'll create a big issue in when data entry. So this will RPA bots can lower that by 80 or more percent, 90%. We've seen it. And in terms of ROI, it's they've represented, there's evidence and studies showing that there's been from like a 250% in terms of ROI, and also it'll have a return on investment from around 6 to 9 months. So it's under a year. It's pretty quick and efficient in terms of that ROI. But increased accuracy, as I said, it's not gonna miss. At least it's not gonna miss as much as a human will do. Inevitably, we all do mistakes, but definitely bots do way less mistakes than we do. And apart from that, scale with ease. You basically can just deploy one bot if you want to start like that, and as you can see how what it can do and its capabilities, you can start scaling and adding more and more to automate more and more processes in your day-to-day business. So that's my part for now. Thank you so much for paying attention, and I'll be moving on with Modern Workplace and Copilot and all the new AI assistants that we are getting nowadays with Lisa Burnett. Welcome. The microphone.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us on the last leg of our roadshow in Trinidad. I am the Business Development Manager with Optimus with a focus on modern work and modern work as it relates to our competencies in our partnership with Microsoft. Now, when we talk about modern work, let's, define what are the expectations in the workplace, today. And we have seen, over the last couple of years, maybe going into 4 years now, how the workplace has changed dramatically. Right now, we see that our workforce and our employees are expecting us to provide the tools and technologies for us to be able to work anywhere, anyhow, from any device securely. And with that, the elements of our modern workplace is designed to focus on technology, productivity, and collaboration. So let's look at the changes that we have been going through again over the last couple of years. Industries are constantly under pressure to digitally transform their own technologies to remain competitive. And we have also seen again with the disruption during the pandemic, those companies that took the bull by the horns and had their investment input into their digital transformation were able to come out way ahead of their peers and be able to sustain and grow their businesses. The two drivers of economic growth, which are your employees and also your labor workforce, are now also evolving. What do I mean by that? Hector mentioned that we're now in a labor workforce that is, we'll say, maturing and aging. And we're now seeing that, the new work attitude and the new work psychographics, within the workplace are going to be the millennials and the Gen Zs. And I can tell you, if you are not supplying those tools and technologies for them to work, in a very agile and transformative way, you're not going to be able to retain them. We're now more connected globally. And with that also comes the emergence of security risks and breaches. And these are, some of the elements, especially when we are in a business and especially as a small, medium and, small SMB, you call them, small, medium business. We tend not to place priorities on looking at our security policies. And why is that? We tend to use a lot of free tools, and with free tools, we get those compromises. So let's look at what AI is going to bring to the table to change the way that we communicate within our work environment. And not only the way we communicate, but what are those transformative business decisions and outputs that we're going to have to be able to sustain, our businesses and to grow in this competitive world. And we're talking about the new AI. Why do you think they call it the new AI? We've always been using AI and we don't know it. I'll give you two key examples. When we're filling out forms, nowadays, if you're filling out a form online, it says, do you want to autofill? You click yes, and all your information appears, in the form, or even, auto-completing sentences. That is a form of AI. It's just been on autopilot. The elements that are new with AI are now being able to use natural language to communicate and have dialogue with your, computing systems. the ability to manipulate large amount of data easily, yes, for you to now make decisions quickly. The ability to be creative and create original content, looking at a blank page, not knowing how to start, inputting key output desires, and you're able to, I would say, boom, immediately get the kind of results that you're expecting. And what has happened, OpenAI, ChatGPT has brought those benefits and innovations, into businesses, not only your operations proficiencies, but also your sales and marketing, operations. And so it has opened it up to the masses. Satya Nadella from Microsoft, has already, not even predicted, but he's saying that AI in our modern workplace, it's going to have the functionality to be able to take the drudgery out of work. And when we talk about drudgery, we're talking about those mundane tasks that we have to deal with every day. Yes. And laboriously, it takes so much effort right now we're enslaved to our inbox. We come into the offices in the mornings. The first thing we have to face is this huge amount of mail. And by the time you're finished, hopefully you get through responding, to customer inquiries, responding to your internal team's needs. You haven't even started the work at hand, for that day. And so we're looking at also AI to alleviate a lot of that tedium that we're finding in our everyday task. So we're introducing Microsoft Copilot. And what is going to be so special about Microsoft Copilot? With AI, we're going to see a lot of applications around AI functionalities. All right. And as I mentioned, these functionalities are probably going to be free. And the risk of using free applications comes the data breaches. Microsoft Copilot, which is going to harness AI capabilities in our everyday apps, which we use, your Excel, your Outlook, your OneNotes, your PowerPoints to create content, your Word to develop your proposals, are built on the promise that Microsoft always bring to businesses, which is a cloud secure environment. So one of the things that Copilot has recently launched to the general audience recently, 2 days ago on the 20, or yesterday on the 26th. So we at Optimus had the privilege of having, what we call private preview to be using, Copilot in our own, everyday task. And an example of how we have been using it for time management. Again, productivity is all about time management, using your time wisely to make quick decisions and to have, those outputs that create the necessary content, the relevant content, yes? And creativity for those who are in maybe your marketing departments, who have to analyze data, who have to make proposals, to your various operation divisions, to be able to make quick, not necessarily quick, but make strategic decisions, yes, for your company growth. So Copilot is going to unleash that creativity by harnessing here, as we said, AI. A lot of times, how many times, we're challenged, with a project from your manager that, what, you need to, come up with a proposal for so and so and so, and you're staring at a blank page. You don't know where to start. Time is going, you have deadlines to meet, yes, and you have other tasks at hand. So with AI, you're able to you have your inputs, you create basic, maybe just phrases, content, and boom, within a few minutes, you're able to, have, have information quickly. Yes, and you edit it, you submit, you can summarize it in your own style, and you're able to deliver, yes, timely. So it's going to unlock productivity. Now, when we talk about productivity, we're not talking about just being efficient. What we're talking about, it's time management. You get into the office, you have all this email, Copilot can now flag certain, qualities of what you're looking for, features in your email for you to focus, targeted, yes, focus points in emails. And beyond that, not just flagging, but it's going to be also able to help you as a creative assistant to respond to certain emails. So if you have a customer that's complaining about a quality of service, it's going to say, would you like to respond to this customer in this way? And it's going to generate possible draft content for you. You take that draft content, you summarize it, put it together, and send it off quickly. All right. And you go through all your emails. From there, maybe you need to, your team manager says, listen, we need to come up with a new campaign strategy. All right. If you're in retail or if you're in food and beverage, and we realize that our customers are moving from, coming into our physical shop and they're moving to online, and we now need to develop new marketing strategies. How do we go about doing that? Okay. Understanding customer data, using that data quickly, maybe generating a new proposal to your web designers that we need to change the imaging and the deliver, the kind of content that we're having on our web store to satisfy our new, customer target. Maybe you might have to take, a presentation from there to your team, that, we need more money, we need more budget. What is that proposal? You can take that same proposal, put it in to your PowerPoint and say, hey, PowerPoint, you know what? Create 5 slides for me. PowerPoint will create 5 slides. You look at it, you're okay with it. You send it off to your team, you discuss it. And, that's the energy and the workflow, of the day. And you're feeling productive. Up-leveling your skills. I like to use the example that I have no skill whatsoever in Excel. Yes? You tell me to analyze, I have to start thinking about formulas and I have to start thinking about all the massive data that I have to sit for hours and hours. I now have Copilot to help me. Yes? So it makes me look good. I'm able to focus on what I am better at while I allow Copilot to do the other works that I'm not so, I would say, proficient. So during this roadshow that we have been having, I realized that in all the industries, in where we play as Optimus, there are 3 elements, that run across business needs. And that is optimizing your operations and improving your customer service and improving your employee service. All right. And those 3 elements makes up for a successful business. So if we look at the 4 operation divisions and how AI capabilities can be used, yes, to optimize those business decisions, we can start with a dynamic workforce. I mentioned earlier that the challenge would be hiring, retaining, and continuous training. Those are a lot of automated tasks, yes, that takes up a lot of time within businesses. But we know that if we have a dynamic workforce that is well trained, they will contribute to the team efforts, yes, to be able to feel they're part of an organizational chain, yes, that fits into your business growth. All right, so they're your feet on the street. And from an HR perspective, we can use AI to create content within a Teams environment to be able to have, continuous training for them without the tedium of always having maybe a presenter and going to class and being online. The new workforce, are using the new technologies to be able to even self-pace and self-train. All right. Supply chain. It's very important to know the seasons when you are going to be having that seasonal chaos, I call it, that rush of inventory. Having data to know what your customer preferences and behaviors are at certain seasons will be able to help you feed into that supply chain operation that now will satisfy your consumer preferences. You're understanding your consumer behavior. You're also providing from a marketing perspective the promotions and the mix to be able to maintain customer loyalty. And then that now feeds into your optimizing your inventory. Yes, to be able to avoid stock out and to be able to optimize, yes, frequently bought. Okay, so moving very quickly, I've mentioned what AI can do from the 4 operations. So I'm going to pass through that. We talk about Teams, using Teams as the platform to be able to have it as a repository of content. But with Copilot in Teams, you can now have more efficient meetings because Copilot will now help you to summarize meetings. They will turn, let me just say, voice into text, into content, summarize all those meeting notes, be able to even say that, okay, from these meeting notes, they can pick out key next steps and tasks per individuals. All right, so we talk about Teams, and I just want to just quickly, say here that empowering your frontline worker and your workforce is always going to be key. They are the drivers, of economic growth and your business, and they expect you to provide the tools that they need to keep them agile and feeling communicated and being part, yes, of a workforce. So allow us at Optimus with our Microsoft competencies to get you AI ready. I am here. We can discuss further, what your workplace looks like in terms of using the Microsoft 365 modern work solutions. And I have an engagement. We have promotions going on. I have a questionnaire. Let's talk. Let's learn more and get you, on the road to being not just AI ready, but also growing your business. So I'm going to end here. I'm going to just fast forward and hand over
100 years from now, we're going to look back on this moment and say that was the beginning of the truly digital era.
In the past 3 years, we've seen and experienced the biggest changes to work in our lifetime. We also have seen a proliferation of data and apps and time spent in meetings.
The patterns, the practices of work, they've kind of turned us all into clerks. We have to service an inbox before we can ever get to creating something that's exciting.
AI is going to free us from a lot of those mundane tasks.
It's your real-time collaborator that helps you answer questions, complete tasks, and do your day-to-day work more efficiently than ever before.
The whole concept of creation is flipped, where instead of staring at a blank canvas, you give a human prompt and suddenly, boom, within a second, content has been created for you on your canvas.
It can help me more quickly do the things I don't love doing and actually do them better. And it can inspire me to create new things.
You can give the model a meeting transcript and understand the key points that were talked about or get the action items. That's like the first step in your conversation with it.
It makes it so you can run your operations more efficiently, improve your employee experience. It makes it so you can improve the customer experience. Those 3 things define just about every business on earth, and this AI improves all 3 dimensions.
You're able to use this AI to reason over all the information that you work with in a very private, trusted, and responsible way.
It's not just a new way of doing the old things. It's an entirely new way of thinking about work. And really, it's a way of thinking about work that will bring the joy back into it for everyone.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about Dynamics 365 ecosystem. So basically, we have been talking about a lot of different platforms, a lot of different systems, but how can we put everything together? That's the point. So on Dynamics 365 ecosystem, you are going to find Business Central, you are going to find CRM, and you are going to find a lot of different models and a lot of different platforms. So on the specific area of CRM, you are going to find those models. You are going to find a sales model. You are going to find a customer service model and even a marketing model. So CRM is a platform that is going to allow you to have all these functionalities together in just one system. But besides that, the idea is how can I bring or how can I put everything together? I mean, the other system, even the Copilot functionality that Lisa just tell us, how can I put that everything together? So CRM is basically the answer to that question. Is that on CRM you could put all the functionality, even integrate Business Central with CRM, and just have the whole group of information or the whole information around the customer. Because when you have, for example, an ERP, a Business Central system, you're going to have the whole company information there, but the whole information that is around the customer is not probably is not going to be totally identified. So that's why we bring CRM to the stage, because it's going to be a system that is going to allow you to have the whole functionality, the whole system around the customer, um, and it's going to enable us to use all of these models. So I want to bring this diagram that is going to show you the whole Microsoft ecosystem. Basically, you are going to have here all the Microsoft Dynamics 365 platforms like CRM, like Business Central. And additionally, we're going to have in this side the Power Platform functionalities. At the moment, we already have integrated with our CRM powered up functionalities, all the reports and all the analysis that we are using it at the moment in CRM is already on Power BI. We automate many different activities using Power Automate. So basically, we are integrating everything in just one place, and the place that we find that could be the one is going to be the CRM. Additionally, you are going to have the whole Office functionality, basically Word, Excel, and some other things, and you're going to have the Teams functionality just straight here. In the bottom, you're going to have the whole Azure platform that is available from Microsoft, of course. So you're going to have here the Active Directory, the OpenAI, the machine learning, and some other services that are available and that are totally or fully integrated to the CRM and to the Business Central platform as well, basically to the Dynamics 365. So today, we already prepared all of these scenarios. Basically, are some scenarios that are going to allow us to show you how the CRM could works, integrated with ChatGPT, integrated with Copilot, integrated with Training Central, and the idea is allow you to see how the system could works in a real world scenario. So in the lab that is going to be in the back in a couple of minutes, it's going to be possible to see all these scenarios working on. Additionally, we want to share with you a prepackaged functionality that we configure in the CRM. So basically, when a customer wants to start using CRM, probably the out-of-the-box functionality is going to be too basic, or is going to be too flexible that he doesn't know how to start, because it's going to include a lot of functionality. So we just define 3 levels of prepackaged functionalities that could fit with some companies. So if let's say that I have a company that probably I don't have a lot of employees, but I want to start using CRM, probably you are going to fit in the joggers one, or you are going to fit in the walkers one. So the idea is allow you to use the functionality that we have been defining, that we have been working on, for almost 2 years now, and allow you to use that in a subscription model. So basically, that's the functionality. I think that here probably Hector wants to uh, add something. Yeah.
So I have some friends back there from Digidata too. So what we're announcing is we're going to remember this application is on Microsoft's App Source. It's under PACE, CRM accelerators. And we're going to be offering the first 3 customers who sign, they will get the setup fee waived. You're still responsible for the subscription fee, which includes the Microsoft software, CRM software, and includes other, the telemetry from Microsoft, includes the cybersecurity from Microsoft, and includes other services and IP from Optimus. So that part, which is smaller part, that's still the responsibility. But for the first 3 customers who sign, first come, first serve, only 3, we will be waiving the setup fee. So that's our announcement today.
Okay, so as you already heard, it's going to be 3 spots. So the purpose is there, and it's up to you now. So additionally, and just go before going until the end, as I mentioned, the CRM is going to provide a group of models that you could define which one do you want to start using it. You could start using it just the customer service model, because I mean, all the companies are going to have customers, of course, and at the end, you need to start managing all that interaction with the customer. So at least the customer service model should be something that you could start considering. And after that, if you want to start with the marketing model or with the sales model, is something that you could start adding. Okay, so after this, we want to talk about marketing. Marketing is a model that uh, is 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 near or could be included or could be work together with the CRM, and it's going to allow you to manage, I mean, basically all your marketing strategy. So now I'm going to pass to Juan Camilo, that is going to be explaining you the whole model. Thanks all of you for your time.
Well, thank you. As Jorge said, my name is Juan Camilo. I'm marketing expert on Optimus company. And the main topic that I want to try in this session is about the communication through this application. You know, this is very important thing when you are using this, and try to get some more clients or more leads and get through in a funnel, you know. But it's actually the most important thing that the companies are trying to bring some more customers through marketing. It's not like a magical thing when you are bring somewhere else and offer your goods on or your services, you know. So in that case, the dynamics application, the dynamics marketing application is based on 5 important spots. Okay, so the first one is the marketing resource management, is where all your team are involved in the same project, but they are doing different tasks or different activities. Okay. For example, one of them can create an email, can design an email, other one can design a website, or another one are creating a journey. So all of those activities, the result is a big campaign, a marketing campaign. It could be an outbound campaign or online campaign. Okay. So the second one is the campaign automation. As I said before, the journeys that we are creating on it it's very important because the system are doing that the person is supposed to be or supposed to do this, you know. So it helps to do so many tasks automatically, to send so many messages or communication or many activities, for example, meeting requests, that you are trying to calendar in the system. So it helps a lot when you are trying to do a lot of events. For example, in our case, we are doing maybe 4 or 5 events on a month. So we are communicate a lot of things to different type of customers. And the third one is advanced analytic and reporting. So I said before, and Hector is talk about indecision, is to measure all the activities that the marketing are doing. You know, it's important thing because marketing is just to try and invent so many bring new ideas. So the reporting and analytic is so important. It's just to see how can react if so many campaigns is working or not working on the real time, and you can react with these things. So also in dynamics marketing are integrated with Power BI. So it's very important to take this in account. The marketing management is about all the activities are centralized in the same platform. What it means that you can find your customer in a database for another CRM, for example, Salesforce, Oracle, SAP, even Dynamics Marketing, and you can integrate with Dynamics Marketing so easily. Okay, so all the database, all the information that you need is in one site. So the result is the customer segmentation is so deeply. You can understand where the clients are buying something, how can the clients are buying, if they went to the e-commerce or they're doing this in the same store or offices that you have. Okay, so this kind of segmentation is very important because you are doing different types of communication. It's not the same when you have a company of I don't know 10 or 20 people and the company who has 100 or 200 people. It's different kind of communication, and the age of the company, or in that case the type of the company that you are trying to bring to your own. You know, this kind of segmentation is very, very important, and I think is very it's a highlight of this application. You know. Continuing, I want to show you as a summary a little video of dynamic marketing.
Welcome to Dynamics 365 Marketing. We've created a Get Started page for you to access the most common tasks. Create beautiful emails that can be personalized to each customer. Create push notifications. Welcome to Dynamics 365 Marketing. We've created a Get Started page for you to access the most common tasks. Create beautiful emails that can be personalized to each customer. Create push notifications and text messages in the same easy way. Customer journeys define how you'd like to engage with your customers. Start with a simple journey, like sending email to your customer after they attend an event. Move on to build more sophisticated journeys using the insights you already have about your customers and the actions they take. See exactly what's working and what needs to be improved thanks to real-time analytics. Imagine how you want to engage and build relationships with your customers. Let's get started.
Application. As you can see, it's just also the journeys that is automation part, but you can put in the same application all your social media as Optimum has in the same application. You know, like we are having our calendar, all the LinkedIn posts, Instagram posts, Facebook posts, even we have a different accounts there. So you can add different accounts, different posts. So the basis of it is the different kind of communication that we are trying to explain to our customer. It depends of the social media that they are getting to. You know, it's different. The people who's getting entry to the Instagram or to the Facebook. You know, the different phases that getting entry. You know, the Gen Z or X is going to enter to the Instagram, and the other one probably is going to enter to the Facebook. So it's different type of communication that we have to do there. Oh well, as you can see, we want to centralize marketing management. So all of our effort, all of our activities that the marketing staff are doing is centralized in the same application. Obviously, with this, we are trying to communicate different things and in a different ways, even in email or Facebook or Instagram, different types of communication. So we are improve our customer engagement. We are trying to bring new customers. In the case on food and beverage, the real-time information for all the customers are appreciated. I'm very appreciated for them. You know, like if you have a promotion, if you have any other product or services that we want to know, this is the type that the customer is appreciating right now. The type of communication, the time that they are receiving this type of communication, they are really appreciated. So the result of it, obviously, is the enhanced lead generation and nurturing that they are become a loyalty client on it about the communication that you are sending. So if the communication or the type of the communication that you are sending are very interesting for them, obviously they are being a loyalty customer. Yeah. As I'm saying in the beginning of my season, is the advanced segmentation and targeting. So there are different types of people or customers that are in our database. So the point is try to identify and very clear which kind of customer it is in our database. For what? Because we are going to spend or invest. The correct word actually is invest the effort to bring some sales from them. You know, like if you are doing a correct promotion, if you are communicate the correct product that they need, it's probably highly probably that it's come to our office and get some goods on our services. The marketing automation efficiency, as the video shows to you, is just to create automatically journeys that it send to you online results, or even if you want to receive another reports through Power BI or something, you can create this kind of reports, okay? And also, the comprehensive analytics and insights is the same. So when you are testing A/B type of communication, you can bring some new insights for your company. You know, for example, if I'm sending some information for the C-level, I know the C-level is gonna be open this kind of emails at noon or maybe at night. You know, but if I'm sending this on the morning, I'm wasting my time. So it don't have any sense. You know, it's kind of insight that this application brings to me. For others, if I send in a newsletter, probably the newsletter, the high open rate that I have is on the midday, probably, because someone is just empty the inbox in the morning, and when you're sitting down after the lunch, you're receiving this newsletter, and you say, okay, we're going to see, because it's that relaxed time after the lunch. Okay, this kind of the analytics that this application brings to our company, in that case, Optimus. Okay, and the others too is the collaboration. The collaboration and integration with others application. As obviously we are integrated with all the Dynamics and marketing, Microsoft applications. As obviously I can download some report from Excel, and we can send it through Outlook, and also all the people who's working this, we can make all the collaboration stuff through Teams or something like that. Okay. So, well, this, as you can see, this platform is very huge. It has a lot of functionality. It's very completely, and I'm sure that it is going to transform the way that the companies is going to communicate to their clients. For my side is no more than this. I hope you are having understanding this application, and if you have another question, I'm going to be right there to answer so many questions that you have. Thanks for your time, and hope you have a great day.